You got to guess who this is. There's only one person that'll eat that much that quickly, and that's Pam. When she sits down to eat, she has a ball, especially if they're mashed potatoes. She's happily married now to a singer, orchestra player, orchestra leader. This is the old Adobe Hacienda. I think that was Josephine and Marilyn that came out on the porch. I never knew the address of this place. All I know is Post Office Box 20, Pikeville, Tennessee. I keep telling Joe and Josephine one of these days I'm going to make my apartment up on that top floor. This is 1976. President Reagan, he wasn't president at that time. He was running for president, but he was beat out of the nomination by Gerald Ford. But anyhow, he was in front of the Southgate Shopping Center in 1976 trying to get the vote. I voted for him, but Ford made it. And he's going to give up and get a little speech up here. That was the mayor of Newport Richey at the time. And that's Nancy Reagan. That's Ron right behind her. I can't tell you who this fella is. Imagine he's just one of the PR people. And this was the fire chief, and he's going to give President Reagan a helmet. I think his name was Meldon. Yes, Fire Chief Meldon. There's Nancy again. Well, everybody liked Ron even then. We all liked him. Sorry he didn't make it there. He probably would have been president for 3 terms. Who knows? I know the Constitution says 2 terms, but you can't tell. They may have revised it. But he looks just as good then as he does now, or he looks just as good now as he did then. Take your pick. I voted for him. He's in for 4 more years. And as far as I'm concerned, he deserves it. I ought to show that to Aunt Grace. She'd love it, I'm sure. Spirit of 76. Here we are at the technical school that Mike graduated from. There's Mike in his robes and hat, and Joe and Josephine. And we'll be watching Mike graduate in a little while. There they are lining up. They're filling up the seats is what they're doing. There was a tremendous crowd there, and I don't know, I think it was about 600 or more students there that day. That must be the faculty, because they're the only ones got comfortable chairs. As you can see, the hall is filling up, and Mike is in one of the crowd going in now. There's Mike there. And that's the audience. A lot of proud people there, I guess. Well, it's about time for the sheepskin. There's Mike at the bottom of the steps. And watch this little action when he gets his little sheepskin. He looks like he's... Watch this action. When he was coming up to get it, he looked like if anybody was there to stop him, he was going to poke him one. I continued to take these people coming up to get their paper, but not because we knew anybody, but I figured that Mike, when he saw these pictures, would say, "Oh yes, there's so-and-so." But I don't think he knew anybody either. You see that girl in the background there? That hat must have come off 3 times by the time she got that sheepskin. Here we are back at the house. As you can see, Angelo's grown up a little bit more, and there's Mike with his diploma. Tennessee Technological University or whatever, I can't see, but it looks like... There's Judy. I don't know which one she's pregnant with, but she's pregnant. And without a scorecard, I don't know who these people are. Maybe Mary Lou, maybe you know some of them. Joe and I went up north, and we're at Lincoln Cemetery now in Washington, D.C. That's Pop's grave, and that's our stepmother's grave. That's his picture, and her picture is right directly below that. Here Joe and I took a trip down to the beach, and we went to see the folks here. They live right around the corner from me in Gulf Harbors, and they go here every summer. It gets too hot for them in Gulf Harbors in summertime, so they come up here. Here comes Joe. This is a little out of sequence, by the way. This film. This actually should have been in front of the other one because we stopped here first and then we went up to Washington. But it doesn't matter. You can see you can enjoy the pictures anyhow. There's Joe giving Anna a hug. I showed that to Josephine. Josephine just shrugged. Says, "Well, that's Joe." There's Clarence. There we go. Now we're up at Sam's house. Sam is our stepbrother, and I think he was about 75 at this time. But Sam and about 4 other guys, there was 5 chairs lined up in the same position that Sam is sitting now, and in front of them was a TV. And that's what they do all evening. They'd sit in front of that TV and watch it, just 5 old folks. Oh, Sam, he's passed away now. I don't think he ever got the money. He tried to get some, tried to sue Capital Transit for about 50, 75 years. Never did get the money as far as I know. Here we are at Grace's house. There's Grace serving dinner. There's John serving the wine, and that's John's mother there. I think she's about 95 years old. I'm not sure, but she used to be a concert pianist, and she's a beautiful person. There's Joe. Everybody toasting everybody else. I'm taking the pictures. There's Grace. That's lasagna we're having then, and Grace is a wonderful cook. She heard me. Now we're up in Utica, New York, and this is Steve with his dog. I think he had another one around there somewhere. Anyhow, those two dogs, there they are, slept in a kennel in the house. And that kennel, or that room, was right next to the bedroom that Pat and Steve put me into. And I'm telling you, that stench was something terrible. Joe gave me a big ha-ha because I had taken the bedroom and gave it the couch outside until I found out why he took the couch outside. Anyhow, here's Pat and Steve with John Paul and Stephanie. And, of course, this is John Paul's day to be christened, and we're going to church to have that done. And there's the old car. And, again, I think these pictures are out of sequence because we're going to Fort Stanwix Park there. This park is supposed to be very old, around Revolutionary times, and the soldiers and the women in there that are putting on an act all the time talk in the method that the people talked in those days, and they no matter what you say to them, they answer you in like. They will not talk to you in modern day language. Of course, they're dressed for the period. And this is the sort of a moat that you had to cross. Now, this is the cannon crew, and they're going to attempt to fire that cannon. Well, it took them 6 tries to actually get that thing to go off. They're loading and priming, pushing it up to the gun port, and it didn't go off, of course. So now they've loaded and primed it. This is the 6th time, and I happened to catch the pictures that happened. Now, that part that we were going to the christening should have been in front of this. Again, I'm sorry, but you get the general idea. This is a Moravian church, and I understand it's one of the oldest denominations in the world. It's not a young church. It's hundreds and hundreds of years old. That preacher's no longer there, and I think Pat and Steve are both sorry that he's not, because he was a young fella and they had rapport. Thought there for a while he's going to drop the baby. There's Stephanie in the background there. It's a shame I couldn't move around, but as I said, it irritates me in these churches that you just can't do anything. This is where they christened him, and they gave him his name of John Paul and presented him to the world. Need I say that Pat's delirious there. It's a pretty church. I tried to get some background. That's the altar and the cross behind it. Some of the flowers for the day. I'll never be a Sammy Wong, but at least you get the general idea of what's going on, and that's your your daddy over on the right-hand side, and of course it's Brother Joe. And after the christening, we went back and had a little goodies. We'll be back there shortly. There's Pat, Steve, John Paul, and there's Joe, and the girl behind Joe, that one right there is Steve's sister-in-law. And that's Steve's sister, the one on the right. We're jumping to Florida now. This is the center. Well, there it is, a child's time out. After months of planning, 3 months of delay, we finally are finished, except for a couple of little rough spots. Now I'm going to take you around the entire area as it looks on July the 4th, 1984. That's Marilyn's office, and you'll see Joe and Josephine's automobile there. They're visiting from Tennessee, and Marilyn's car and my car. And I'm panning now around the playground area. As I said, it is July the 4th, so consequently we don't have all the children here. And this is the group of buildings, and there's the entire area. I'm panning back toward my family, who's sitting up there on the steps waving at me like a bunch of people from Tennessee. Let me put it that way. All right, I'm still panning. This is the side of the building. I'm standing at the Ridge Road area, and I'm just panning back. I'll eventually get up to the front and back again. And there's my two nephews, Angelo and Jason. Angelo in the white shirt, Jason in black with his belly showing. And we'll get back to them in a second. There comes the whole family. There's Noreen, Josephine, Angelo, Joe, Jason, and my wife's in the background. They're walking up toward the front of the building. I'm bringing you up toward the front now. Hi, folks.
Say hello, you're on sound. Hi, John.
Okay, there. Are you going inside?
Yes, we are.
Is that Jason up there? I can't see him. He's in the background.
It's time for us to go back the other way.
What's that? Yes. How about going inside and taking a look around, then coming on back, and I'll be waiting for you. Yeah. Hi.
Love ya.
What you got there? Tea?
Got my tea.
Well, good for you.
Lots of sugar for energy.
Good.
This looks good, Johnny. Took the water well.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm so happy. It worked out.
Well,
Your mind's eye, you had it planned well. Here they come.
Hi, come on out. Did you enjoy it? Where are you going now?
We're going to the fireworks. They come from Clearwater, Denver. Why not 15?
Yeah, okay, Joe. Listen, as you cross Signal Mountain, just throw out some flyers there, you know, because I'm sure those hillbillies up there want to know about our place.
Anybody headed south?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, we'll see you later on this evening, I hope. Take it easy now. I guess you can say this is the end, can't you? That's quite an end. Well, there goes the family. Noreen, you're a ham bone, Noreen. Bye-bye. Well, I'm going back to show you the building as it's finished. And if you recall in the earlier part of the film, the brick wall was all you saw in the middle, and now it's all one building, thank God. Now, I had this shot once before of the building as it was going up, if you recall. The brick wall was just going up in the center. Now it's finished. All my fences are up, and just a few things have to be added. This is our driveway to the street. And we have our floodlights up for later on this year. It gets awfully dark around 5 o'clock, and we'll have people coming.
The light up there on top is pulsating now.
Well, that's a pretty bird you got there, Josephine.
Is that a pretty bird?
Yes, it is. What else you got coming out there, kid?
I've got sweet potato casserole. I've got mashed potatoes and gravy. Got dressing.
Hey, Mike, good to see you. You staying or what?
No, I've got to go. I've got sick children. I'm just
6 children or 6 children?
Ready?
Hey, Mom, you coming out or you gonna sit there and eat it all?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you say something about being ready?
Oh boy.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Ma, how you doing?
Well, I'm just doing fine.
That's great. What are those, potatoes?
Huh?
They looking good.
Get all over. Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. What you got there, Josephine?
Got the turkey and potatoes, and Mike's getting the dressing out for me.
Well, good.
Mike's getting the dressing, Mom.
Beginning to look good.
Yuck. 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 Yeah, what is it?
What's all that noise about, Ma?
I don't know what they're doing in there.
What are you looking at?
Well, I'm trying to look to see if everything is
Everything all right?
everything is just nice.
How is it? Does it meet with your okay?
Yeah.
Okay, inspection's perfect then, huh?
Cut the thing off. Oh, that's something very hot.
What is it, Ma?
It's I think it's something other. I don't know. It's just it's to eat. I don't know what it is.
It's too what is it, Josephine?
Broccoli casserole.
Broccoli casserole. She says it's too hot to even tell you what it is.
It is. Don't take my feet. I got my house shoes.
Oh, well, I caught that long time ago.
Okay, what next?
What you got? Everybody,
Come on, let's eat.
come on in, Mom. What are you doing out in the
Mom, you
kitchen?
can, Mom, you eat right here next to me. No, you eat right here at the end.
Yeah, put it at the head of the table.
You eat right
Let
here.
me do this.
Where's Rick?
down.
Oh, my chick, now don't you try to come on.
I can check.
You sit right over there by
Sit up,
me.
pull up.
That's nice.
Might be long distance.
Hello. Yeah, he's getting the
That's probably his wife called it. They haven't been in the house 5 minutes.
Who's that?
His girlfriend's
Huh? You come over here.
Me?
Over here, let Mama.
Joe.
Yeah.
Let him sit.
You want
Yeah.
Jason sit
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Okay, sit there.
Jason, when you get in there, sit in a little closer, would you, buddy? That's
Yeah.
Oh,
Sit over
oh,
here.
John's gonna sit up.
There's the.
that's the boy. Everybody comfortable?
Yes, and everybody's seated except you, John.
Okay.
Cut that thing off. Cut that thing off.
Okay, who's gonna say, he'll say grace, Mother.
No.
That's fine.
Johnny, you gonna join us for grace? Okay, bow your heads, fellers. Lord, we thank thee for all the blessings we've received this year. We thank you for our health. We thank you for the food that's before us. Watch over us through the rest of the year. We ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Alrighty.
Let's see.
There's the turkey
Mom,
thing.
don't worry about that light. It isn't gonna kill you. And every once in a while, look over that way, would you, buddy? That's the
While you're chewing.
That's right.
Next-
Just to let us know that you're here.
Just to, I'll write my dinner before I come.
You ate your dinner before you came.
I said, you want me to take over, go around and get you something.
Yeah. I'm gonna shortstop it a little bit, because there's
Give me
plenty,
a plate, son.
plenty to eat.
No, whenever I was cooking my corn, I was tasting and I was tasting like Josephine does.
Yeah, like
And
just,
you know, when you get ready to eat, then you don't, you lost that.
I love corn on my
And she told
potatoes.
me not to fix none.
Also, I love beans on my potatoes.
You didn't make
You
that.
like,
No, but Mama, that's just in a minute. Stick a little water on the stove here.
Well, it came out just about the right time you said it'd be coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Mary Lou, I'm sorry you're not here, honey, but,
That stuff's there pretty good.
hope you have a nice Thanksgiving.
Yeah, me too.
How about all saying a nice Thanksgiving to Mary Lou over there?
Nice Thanksgiving, Mary Lou. Happy day.
What do you want, Jerry?
A very happy holiday. Everybody. Hope they have something.
We're done.
You reach the turkey stick, a little bitty piece. Just reach over there and jab it in.
Reach over and jab it in.
Yeah. This is, yeah, this
White
is-
or
this
dark
is
meat,
enough.
Mom?
I just don't feel like it's turkey. Really have some more
Bill,
fries.
would you pass the gravy, please? Thank you. I guess you better, anybody want gravy while it's done? Okay. I better take that off. Good. Oh, that gravy's delicious.
Oh,
Well, I think we're gonna get Justine to sit down at the table,
I'm going to.
because she couldn't eat that bird. Joe, she couldn't eat that bird while it was cooking.
not really.
And I was watching the mashed potatoes, so she couldn't eat too many of those.
She,
Now, let's see what we got here.
better have some
Reggie,
water.
has some turkey over there?
Get home and buy.
You don't have any corn, Mom?
I do want
How about corn, Joe.
Oh, yeah, let me.
What do you need? Oh my goodness, yes, the salt and pepper.
I think I'll have some dressing.
Did you have some corn?
That's sweet potato.
This
Well,
tastes
then I'll
pretty
have
good.
some sweet potato.
This,
If I had known I had sweet potatoes, I would have
Come
had
on,
that.
look at the camera, say hi.
Would you like it?
Hi.
Would you like some sweet potatoes?
Here's more dressing.
Any sweet potatoes over there?
That's delicious, John. It's like, dessert.
Josephine, would you spare me a couple pieces of turkey, please? One piece of dark and a piece of light.
Ooh, that's a nice one, John.
This is nice. I think Joe said.
you go, did you go down
Thank you, Dan.
to Octo's this morning?
That's good.
Those sweet potatoes are delicious.
Aren't
So
they good?
fish, Octo
You can pass it over here, man.
called down this morning, and Grace answered. We don't know if that was a mailman's place. And we said, you reckon? Said he, when you come out there and get his turkey. Don, he said, I reckon he said something to Don about eating turkey, and Don told him to save him some. And she said, all right, and then she told Don he'd better go out there and get it. He never would, Otto never would hush about it.
That's
And
right.
he went to give him a big drumstick and a lot of dressing, had the children, and then Brett said, I'm still eating on that dressing, said, Don won't get none. The best dressing said she was putting in her mouth. Said she wanted to find out how she made it.
Where is the dressing? That's sweet potato.
Just press the casserole.
I brought a little bowl full of dressing out in here and done
She'll
some,
bring some more out of that.
maybe she's gone after it.
I think Red
She
ate it.
had,
Red, you eat all the dressing? Huh? Okay, good checking. How about you, Angelo? Got plenty of dressing?
I feel more dressing. I got plenty of dressing.
Thank you, dog.
Mike just told me that he won Turkey Teacher of the Year again this
Did you
year.
bring turkey?
Got a 12-pound. He won Turkey Teacher of the Year.
Does that mean he's a turkey or?
He got a turkey.
Oh.
How much money did they make? I wonder.
did they have,
Where's Mike?
Would you like something?
just a little bit of things.
Quiet, he's sitting there wrapping stuff up. He has,
Cornbread in it.
Mike, come in and say goodbye before you leave.
I will.
how much money did you make, Mikey?
They raised about $95.
That was better than last year, wasn't it?
Joe, some
What was
dressing?
they having?
It's a Turkey Teacher of the
Angela,
Year, and they
Jason,
give money,
Dressing?
Mom.
Red, want some
The
dressing?
teacher that gets the most money, they run against each other.
I guess we turned on there.
And Mike was awarded he was a turkey teacher. And he got a 12-pound turkey.
Repeat that.
Butterball.
Why do they call them turkey?
Got a
turkeys?
butterball,
I
they
missed
put
your
that
conversation.
They make up money for their school.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, people buy votes for 10 cents a piece for their favorite teacher.
uh-huh. And Mike made it?
Mike made it.
Great. How many votes you get, Mike?
My room brought in $24, and the next nearest competitor was